Hello everybody, and let's jump right into it today. So today we're going to talk about what we expect from the new Scream movie coming out. I talked about Scream 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we're going to talk about what we expect from Scream 5. As a horror movie fan, the most important thing for me is that it remain true to the source. So many times you see these horror movie remakes, reboots, sequels that start to go away from the original source. Perfect example of this is Friday the 13th. The Friday the 13th reboot was horrible for one reason. It was made by people who explicitly said that they weren't a fan of Jason Voorhees, that they weren't a fan of any of the Friday the 13th films, not even the first one where Jason wasn't even the killer. So what did they do? They basically turned Jason into this Rambo-esque killer where he's able to run around and set traps. Jason should not have intelligence. That's not Jason's forte. Then you have the Michael Myers series, the Halloween series, which has gotten way out of hand in a number of ways. And I could go completely off the rails and talk to you for hours about the things that are wrong with it and its sequels. But the thing of it is that the Halloween films kind of went haywire after about number 4. When number 5 hit the Halloween films, it was the beginning of the end for a lot of fans. There are some movies that we really don't like, and you know, that unfortunately would be one of the ones that we kind of don't really care for. Now, what makes a good horror movie? Sequel or prequel or even reboot, sticking to its original source. Candyman is a perfect example of what went right with some of the sequels, as it built on the mythology of itself and never once did it stray from it. If you're doing a Scream film, it's going to be important that the Scream film actually coincides and does what the other films did. It has to coincide next to the other films. You have to feel like it's part of those. And it's gotta be tongue-in-cheek. It's gotta be self-aware. Because the second you take us out of the self-awareness of Scream and the kids making fun of the horror genre, then you're going to start to lose your audience. Even an audience who hasn't seen the original Scream movies is going to get the feeling that there might be something wrong. I want a lot of Ghostface murders in the film. If you're going to up the ante in this film, you have to up it big time. We have to make this film bloodier and more horrible. Now, what else would I like to see in the film? Of course, I would like to see more survivors return. The thing about some of the Friday the 13th films that has always annoyed me is that we don't get a lot of the actual survivors ever returning to the film. I'm a closure type of person. I like for movies to have some closure and the sequels to have a little bit of closure. In a perfect world, Friday the 13th Part 3 opened with Jenny still running from Jason. That we were going to actually get an entire movie set in a mental hospital where we were going to watch Jenny go slowly insane as people didn't believe she wasn't Jason. And Jason was going to continue his murder spree right in the hospital, which would have been cool. But there were a lot of movies in the 80s that focused on serial killers in hospitals. A lot of sequels pulled that stunt. Even a more recent Cult of Chucky pulled that stunt. So is it a little cliche? Maybe. But the point of it was that we would have gotten Jenny back. Only the actress didn't want to be a part of it. She since, I guess, has changed her mind. She has nothing but good things to say about her experience on the film. But then, as much as I hate Christine in part 3, and she's by far my least favorite heroine of the entire movie series, I would have loved to have seen her come back. And the same could be said of every single heroine thereafter. We did get Tommy Jarvis coming back, but then that was a one-shot thing. Scream has always done something that other horror films haven't done. It's brought back people who survived. So rather than focus on an entirely new set of people, it should maintain this level of continuity, that the people who survive come back. And I would add a few more people to that list. I mean, we know that Neve Campbell is coming back as Sydney. We know that Gail Weathers is coming back. And we know that Dewey is coming back. We also know from some spoilers that have come out that that Marley Shelton is coming back as Detective Hicks. Okay, so that's good. But then what about a couple other people? For example, why not bring back someone like Hayden Panettiere as Kirby? We didn't see Kirby die on screen. We saw Kirby get stabbed in Scream 4, and we never officially got any closure. A lot of fans really did like the character of Kirby, and it's with good reason. The character was essentially the modern Randy when you think about it. And we can't really bring Randy back again. Unless, of course, we bring him back in another video thing that he's recorded previously for Sydney. Sydney, in the event that you are watching this, you are probably in a reboot. Where you are not the main focus, but there are new kids involved. You are just the OG in the movie, and you will probably die. Because let's get something straight. If they're going to focus on a whole new set of people, then yes, Sydney is going to have to die in this movie. And I am okay with you killing Sydney in this movie. I am okay with Gail Weathers not making it out, with someone like, even Dewey not making it out. But what we have to realize is that you also have to give the audience something that they want. And one thing that the audience would actually applaud is that if one of the newer people, maybe from Scream 4, or two of them actually were in this movie and survived. Why? Because then you have a couple people from the OG part of the fandom coming back and being a part of the movie and actually making it through. And why not? Because really they're part of a reboot anyway. Because the film was supposed to be a trilogy. Part 4 could in turn be the beginning of this new trilogy, but it's not. So why not bring back Kirby since we didn't see her die? That would be epic. I would love that. I liked the character of Kirby. I was extremely sad when she got stabbed, but a lot of people do believe she's still alive, as we didn't see her die. And I do believe that they said that in the original script she was supposed to be shown to survive. Now, also there's Gail's cameraman in Scream 4. Or in Scream 3. Joe's, I believe his name was Joe. Yeah, bring him back, because he survived. He survived Scream 3 because he walked off. We didn't see him in Scream 4, and why not bring him back? Just because it would give us another OG survivor that could come back in. We could have a complete free fall for Ghostface, especially the Ghostface of this film is somehow still connected to Sydney, which in a roundabout way, no matter how you do this, he's going to be connected to Sydney. And that's going to be pretty cool. Now, we've got the layout of a couple of the kids, and they all seem like they are the same basic kids that we got in the original. So it really does seem like a reboot. You have the girl, you have her sister that's coming back into town, and you have a boyfriend, and the one girl has a girlfriend. Which right there, I know people are going to be like, oh, there's an agenda, there's an agenda. And look, every movie has an agenda. Every movie. And if you look for it, you'll see it. So don't look for it. Go in with an open mind and watch the movie for what it is. That's not why we're talking about this. The characters are, in fact, very much reminiscent of some of the classic characters in the franchise, which is a bit disturbing, but yet it maintains this formula. And as long as the formula is done right, I do believe the film will be good. Now, what else would I like to see? Of course, I would like to see Stewie come back. Yes, bring back Matthew Lillard as Stewie. It was going to happen in part 3, where he was going to be revealed to be the person in charge of it all. And then I think they were supposed to do it in part 4 as well. They talked about maybe Stewie being in there, although very briefly. Matthew Lillard is always open to be a part of the franchise. He's one of those actors who knows where his bread is buttered. He knows that this is one of the things that made him a household name to a lot of people, and he respects that. If you haven't seen Matthew Lillard in action in anything other than Scream, I highly recommend it because he's brilliant. He plays in, he played in a show called Good Girls, and Good Girls actually got canceled just recently. And it's a shame because he was a shining light in that series. He was just awesome. So this does, of course, mean he's free. And if this means that he's free, I would love nothing more than to get Stewie back behind bars, being the mastermind of it all. If not, just the outright killer. How cool would it be? Because the house that one of the houses that they're focusing on in some of the promos and some of the things that have leaked is Stewie's house. We know Stewie's house plays a part of it. So however Stewie's house plays a part in this movie, could it be that this is Stewie's family? What if Stewie had some relatives who then inherited the house or something after his supposed death? After his parents had moved out or died or whatever, what if these people came in? They don't know that their uncle Stewie or their cousin Stewie or whatever is in fact alive. It presents this like completely crazy thing. Or they could go full Black Christmas or something, where I think that would be pretty cool. To have a scenario where possibly the killer is related to some of these people, or he's already in the house making the phone calls. How crazy would it be? And then at the end we find out it's Stewie, and that would be epic. That's what I think. That's what I would like to see in this series. Some of the things I would like to see. Bring more people back, make it bloodier, bring Stewie back. But I want to know what you guys think in the comments. So definitely drop me a line in the comments, because YouTube tends to like that stuff, and I tend to kind of like to hear from you guys. So make sure you drop me a line, and then also Miko demands that you hit that like button. You don't want to disappoint Miko, so hit the like button and hit that subscription button, because Miko says we need more subscribers. So you know the routine, little bell, notifications, all that, so you know when we do our next video. And what is our next video going to be? Well, our next video will be Thursday, and it will be all the news across the nation in terms of fandoms. So it could be really crazy, And we could have a lot to say, or it could be really simple and we might not have a lot to say. It just depends on what's going on in the fandom on Thursday when we talk about what's been going on this week. So, you don't want to miss that. And then next Tuesday, we will be talking about some other part of the fandom. And we're going to be talking, since it's getting closer to Halloween, we're going to be talking about Child's Play. And you don't want to miss that either. So make sure you're watching. Make sure you know when we do our videos. Be safe out there. And at the end of the day, remember, fandom is family.